Welcome everyone on today's presentation about Lotic Ecosystems by the group of Garcia, Lesquite, and Sonico from PS Biology 1A. So for the introductory note, Lotic ecosystems are freshwater ecosystems characterized by the continuous flow of water, such as rivers and streams. These dynamic environments play a crucial role in the Earth's hydrological cycle and support diverse aquatic life. With their flowing water, Lotic ecosystems provide essential habitats for fish, invertebrates, amphibians, and plants. They also contribute to nutrient cycling, erosion control, and water filtration. For the lesson outline, we will be tackling about the introduction to Lotic freshwater ecosystem, resident flora and fauna of Lotic freshwater ecosystem, and how these environments change over time. There are two kinds of aquatic environments which can sustain life. These are saltwater life zones and freshwater life zones. The major types of organisms found in aquatic environments are determined by the salinity of the water. Salinity means the amount of salts dissolved in a volume of water. This is why aquatic life zones are divided up between saltwater life zones and freshwater life zones. An example of a saltwater or marine life zone is a coral reef, and an example of a freshwater life zone is a lake or rivers. Aquatic environments have many advantages. Water has many properties, and because of that, it is a unique kind of environment to live in. However, there are also factors that limit aquatic life. Factors that determine which life forms can be sustained in an aquatic life zone are temperature, access to sunlight, dissolved oxygen concentrations, and availability of nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus. The water temperature usually falls with water depth because less sunlight will penetrate the water at a greater depth. Most aquatic organisms have a limited range of tolerance to temperature changes. This is all they need because temperatures are not likely to undergo great changes beneath the water surface. However, when sudden temperature changes do occur, it will have a significant effect on the performance and survival of aquatic organisms. Sunlight, on the other hand, can only penetrate the water up to a depth of about 30 meters below the surface. Producers need sunlight to produce oxygen and other required substances that will sustain consumers. Production can only occur in the zone where sunlight can penetrate. Suspended matter may interfere with the penetration of sunlight into water. This may decrease the size of the zone in which production takes place. Oxygen enters the aquatic ecosystem from the atmosphere, and on account of production by phytoplankton, dissolved oxygen concentrations deriving from atmospheric oxygen and are influenced by water temperatures. When dissolved oxygen levels fall below 3 ppm, many consumers such as fish and zooplankton will die. This makes dissolved oxygen and water temperature very important limiting factors in aquatic life zones. Oxygen levels, like temperatures, also decrease within that. Nutrient supplies are usually satisfactory in freshwater ecosystems. However, in open oceans, nutrients are often in short supply. They are an important limiting factor for productivity in aquatic life zones. Phosphorus is the main limiting nutrient in freshwater life zones, whereas nitrogen is the main limiting nutrient in saltwater life zones. In this presentation, we'll be focusing on freshwater life zones. So, freshwater life zones are found in waters with a dissolved salt concentration of less than 1%. Freshwaters are divided up into standing bodies of freshwater, such as lakes, ponds, and inland wetlands, and flowing bodies of fresh water, such as rivers and streams. Only 1% of the Earth's surface is covered with fresh water. However, about 41% of all known fish species live in fresh water. Runoff from land provides the water with nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus because the freshwater zones are close to terrestrial land ecosystems. Moving on to the two major types of freshwater life zones, which is the lentic and lotic ecosystems. Lentic ecosystems, also known as stillwater ecosystems, are characterized by relatively still water bodies, such as ponds, lakes, and wetlands. Lentic ecosystems have a lacustrine habitat, which support a diverse array of organisms that are adapted to living in such conditions. They provide habitat and food for a wide variety of aquatic and terrestrial organisms, help regulate water flow, and act as carbon sinks by absorbing and storing carbon. On the other hand, the Lotic ecosystem, which is the main focus of this presentation, also known as flowing water ecosystems, are characterized by continuous water flow, such as rivers and streams. Lotic ecosystems have a fluviatile habitat which support a variety of fish, insects, and other aquatic organisms. They play a crucial role in maintaining ecosystem health by providing habitat, also regulating water flow and supporting biodiversity. Both lentic and lotic ecosystems are diverse and complex, supporting a wide range of organisms and contributing to the overall health of the ecosystem.
So to proceed to the next slide, I am Aladdin Junior Silas Kitty and I am going to discuss the Lotic ecosystem. So first, a Lotic ecosystem is characterized by flowing waters with unidirectional flow, whereas its current is its major controlling and limiting factor. A great example for this type of ecosystem would be the rivers and streams. So take note that rivers and streams is an open ecosystem, which means that the organic matter produced in this ecosystem can be autochthonous or alloctonious. By autochthonous, this means that the sources of organic matter in estuaries is being produced within the estuary by the primary producers. On the other hand, alloctonious means that the organic matter is transported to the estuary via rivers or affluents. So to proceed, here are some attributes of a Lotic ecosystem. First would be surface water. So these are precipitation that doesn't sink into the ground or evaporate. Second is the runoff water. So runoff waters are waters that flows into streams and eventually into the ocean. Third or last would be the watershed or drainage basin. This describes an area of land that contains a common set of streams and rivers. This drains into a single larger body of water such as a larger river or a lake or an ocean. So to proceed with the two zones of rivers and streams, which are the rapid zone and the pool zone. So for the rapid zone, it is a shallow water where velocity of the current is great, and it is further characterized as a strong current, firm substrate, clear water, and it has a firmly attached organisms or those that can swim against the current. So for the pool zone, it is a deeper water where velocity of the current is reduced. So it is characterized as a deeper water compared to the rapid zone, and current velocity is reduced, but it has a soft bottom and burrowing animals and rooted plants. Life zones in flowing freshwater bodies. Flowing bodies of freshwater such as rivers and streams are watersheds for precipitation water. This water becomes land runoff and flows with the rivers and streams to the sea. The flow of surface water to the sea takes place in three different life zones. These life zones all have their own environmental conditions, which causes species diversity to vary between three zones. So in the first life zone, streams of clear, cold water rush over waterfalls and rapids. While the water falls down, it dissolves large amount of oxygen from the air. And in this life zone, plant species like algae and mosses and fish species like trout are most common. Few plankton species are found in these streams and fishes are usually flat-bodied. While in the second life zone, there are wider and deeper streams and fewer obstacles. The water is warmer and the oxygen content is lower, so that this life zone supports more producer species such as phytoplankton. And lastly, in the third zone streams flow into wider and deeper rivers, which stream through flat valleys. The water in this life zone has a lower oxygen content and high temperatures than the water in the first two zones. The rivers and streams are slowly moving and contain producers such as algae and cyanobacteria, as well as rooted aquatic plants. Because of plant erosion, the water is often muddy and filled with suspended solids. Flowing freshwater bodies usually receive their nutrients from land runoffs.
So for the next slides, I am Reeve Garcia and I'm here to talk about the resident flora and fauna of the Lotte community. A running water environment offers numerous microhabitats that simulate favorable conditions for many types of animals to successfully succeed in the freshwater Lotte community. Here we have our Oreochromis niloticus, our Ecornia crassipis, and our Cestreus plicatilis. Here are some Lotic ecosystems adaptations. The first one is the suckers. Suckers are a type of adaptation found in many organisms that live in Lotic ecosystems, which are flowing water bodies like rivers and streams. These suckers allow the organisms to cling to rocks, plants, or other surfaces in the fast-moving water. This clinging ability is essential for survival in lotic environments as it prevents them from being swept away by the current. Hooks and claws are another important adaptation used by many organisms in lotic ecosystems. These structures serve similar purposes to suckers, helping organisms grip and hold onto surfaces in fast-moving water, as well as to capture prey and defend themselves. The third one is flight. Some animals have adaptations allowing them to fly or glide, removing themselves from the force of the current at ground level and enabling them to move upstream more easily if needs be. Before we end our topic for today, we would like to discuss about the impact humans have on aquatic life zones. Most water bodies are now severely polluted because we have been discharging wastewater in it for a very long time, before we realized this was very bad for the water quality. Coastal life zones are particularly sensitive to toxic contamination because they are a dump for pesticides, heavy metals, and other pollutants, which will soon accumulate to high levels. Runoff from sewage treatment plants and other plant treatment systems is threatening all aquatic life zones nowadays, and we are trying very hard to solve this problem. And that concludes our report and our presentation. That would be all, guys. Thank you for listening. This is again Reeve Garcia together with Aladin Lasquite and Epiphany Myth Sonico.